This is Jeff Pilson of Foreigner, and you are listening to my buddy Ray Shasho on Interviewing the Legends at BBS Radio 1.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency, devoted to promoting musicians and authors worldwide. Call us today at 941-877-1552 to start your free publicity evaluation. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Please welcome the host of Interviewing the Legends, music journalist, author, and entrepreneur, Ray Shasho.
Hello once again, everyone. I'm your host, Ray Shasho. Welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends on BBS Radio TV, brought to you by the Rockstar Chronicles, Series 1, my new book featuring over 45 intimate conversations with the greatest music legends the world will ever know. Available now at bookbaby.com and amazon.com. Nad Sylvan was born in the USA, but raised in Sweden by his grandparents. He began playing the piano at the age of 4 and started composing almost immediately. His first performance at age 8 ended very suddenly with Nad fainting over the keys from sheer...
No, I threw up.
A great way to start. Having worked with ABBA's Michael B. Tretow, being in and out of various bands, trying to write hit songs, but never being in sync with time. Nad's dreams of success had almost come to an end when he was accidentally lured back into the prog rock scene, which I'm glad. In 2008, Nad was involved with the highly acclaimed Unifaun album, a project of original music playing homage to the 70s era Genesis. The Unifaun album, and in particular, Nad's voice, often described as a mix of Peter Gabriel and Collins, caught the attention of Roine Stolt of the Flower Kings and Transatlantic. Together, they form Agents of Mercy in 2009 and have released 3 albums to date: The Fading Ghosts of Twilight, Dramarama, and The Black Forest, as well as touring extensively. Then one day, an email arrived in Nad's invoice. "Hi, Nad. This is Steve Hackett. Acclaimed by many to be Genesis' finest album, Selling England by the Pound, will be performed by Hackett and Company in its entirety. Supported by some of the best musicians on the planet, Steve's unique guitar work remains the fulcrum on which this challenging and exhilarating show is balanced. In addition, Hackett will perform sections from Seconds Out, rescheduled, and the U.S. shows begin April 2022, including 4 dates in Florida. Please welcome U.S.-born Swedish progressive rock singer, musician, and songwriter, who is currently the vocalist in Steve Hackett's band Genesis Revisited, Nad Sylvan, to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, Nad. Enjoy your dinner.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry about that coincide with my dinner, but I'll just eat slowly, so I will not chew while I'm talking. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I've done interviews. I did what's her name? I forgot. Oh, Beth Hart, the blues singer, and she was cooking in the kitchen, and you can hear pans rattling, and I've had interviews with dog barking in the background. It doesn't matter.
And did you ever have an interview with someone masturbating?
No.
Okay. Maybe that's next up. Who knows?
You're not doing that now, as long as while you eat, are you?
Well, you never know with me. You never know.
That's funny. I want to talk about the new album first. It's Spiritus Mundi or Monday?
I say Monday. I think
Monday?
it depends on where you are, where you're from.
Right. It's 5 stars all the way, man. It's an incredible album. I love it.
Thank you. What can I say? The fans have really taken it to their hearts, and I wasn't sure, because it's a quite big leap from the previous 3 ones. But
I put it in the same category as like Trick of the Tail by Genesis, because I love that album, and this album inspired me like that album. It's that good.
Well, I'm speechless because Trick of the Tail is part of the, prog. It's a chapter to me in the prog Bible, when it doesn't get much better than that. So being compared with stuff like that is, to me is quite surreal, but it's a wonderful, wonderful, what do you say, compliment.
Compliment, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the title was a term used by W.B. Yeats, and it describes, I guess, the collective soul of the universe.
Yes, it means the spirit of the world. If you want to, go a bit deeper, spiritus, of course, means spirit, and mundi means world in Latin, and it's just. It's from the introduction song, not the intro, the second coming, the first track. It's a line from there, and I also put that in later in the album on The Witch and the Mermaid. I inserted Spiritus Mundi as a reminder, just between those 2 songs that are being linked together, and it sounds almost like a choir monk choir in like a like in a big church or something. I think that's my favorite moment of the whole album.
Well, it's an incredible album. Is it Andrew Latris? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Andrew's the composer on. Is it all the songs or most of the songs?
We co-wrote these songs.
Okay, good.
They derived from ideas of his. But they were by no means finished songs when we started to work with them. They were just, I'd say he's basically responsible for the melodies and the chords on the whole album, where I elaborated and altered things or whatever. Because he would give me maybe 2 minutes worth of music, and I would expand on it and extend the piece so it turned into like a 5 or 6 minute song. So that's how it worked.
The reviews have been outstanding. I mean, I've looking on YouTube, Amazon, it's incredible. I mean, I don't think you did a lot of promotion on this album either. It didn't seem like it.
I think I've done what I could. Inside Out, I think, has shaped up their act a bit when it comes to promotion. I even saw it was the drummer of Saga, Mike Thorne, sent me a photo because he lives in Germany now. He got married and got a kid in Germany, and he sent me a photo of a billboard at a train station with my album. So maybe not they're not doing it everywhere, but in Germany they did.
I've got Michael Sadler coming up soon on the show.
He's such a sweet man. He's such a sweet man. Michael Sadler is one of my favorite guys out there because he's so supportive, so kind. I even called him on New Year's Eve and we talked for a bit.
What was how are things in Sweden, by the way, with the lockdown and all that? Are you guys free to do whatever you want now, or?
We have pretty much been free to do more than maybe the rest of Europe. I mean, it has its pros and cons. So we have a very high death rate, but it's gone down substantially now since we all gotten the first jab. I'm getting the second one next week. But to tell you the truth, I haven't seen much of it because, as always, I'm at home working on something.
Right.
And And occasionally when I go to the grocery, I do wear my face mask. Take precautions like we all should. But I don't see that many wearing the masks. That is a bit intimidating. Like people still don't understand what's going on. People are not that bright always, But sorry to say, I would love to say otherwise. But anyway, I never got affected by the COVID. I didn't get sick.
Right.
But very sadly, a neighbor of mine, just two houses down the road, died 1 month ago from COVID at 66.
Man.
Yeah, that was really sad because it was one of the guys down here,
Huh.
Yeah. So I've been cautious. I've been very cautious.
That's good. That's very good. Yeah, me and my wife got all the shots, and Florida's very relaxed now. There's no restriction on masks anymore. So we're doing pretty good down here.
I just hope that we can get over there and play soon.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be coming to Clearwater, I believe. That's close to me.
We're coming to Florida next year about this. I think it is in May or April.
I got the schedule, and it's a pretty lengthy tour.
Yeah. Well, you haven't seen all the dates yet. There are more to come.
Oh, are there? Yeah.
Yeah.
The only guys that are really strict right now is Canada. I talked to Frank Marino, who played with Mahogany Rush, and he's ready to leave Canada. It's that bad. I mean, he lives in Montreal, and there's a lot of restrictions. They still have a curfew. If you're out during the curfew, they'll fine you like $600. Wow. It's pretty strict.
Frank Marino, that rings a bell. Wasn't he with a band called Angel?
No, that was I forgot his name. Punky Meadows, I think.
No. Yeah, I know Punky was in there, but I think the singer was Frank Marino.
It could be. Yeah, I think you're right. There was another Frank Marino. Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. This Frank was in Mahogany Rush. He did a lot of Hendrix covers in the beginning. Good guy. Yeah. Well,
so
the track list. Go ahead.
I'm just going to let the cat out.
Okay. Sounds like a joke.
Yeah. After she had her dinner, she always wants to go out on the balcony because it's been raining all day. Like really? Yeah, it's been raining heavily all day, and she's kind of frustrated because she doesn't want to get wet.
How many cats do you have? Just the one?
Just one.
I got a cousin in Baltimore who's got 9.
Oh, that's quite a handful.
Yeah. But cats are easy, they don't require a lot of attention like dogs.
No, I love my cat. My cat is she's never ruined anything in my house, not even a scratch anywhere. And she's just a timid little girl, but she's a mass murderer. She brings in mice and the occasional bird, which really is frustrating,
we forget that they're related to lions and tigers, and they get that. It's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about the album again. The Second Coming.
Yes.
Great track. It's a favorite. It's the opening of the album. Incredible. I've got a lot of favorites on this album. That's one of them.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you.
Another favorite, Sailing to Byzantium.
That's the one I'm making. That's the one I'm making a video right now. Should be ready to.
You got 2 videos out there right now from the album, right?
I got 3 or 4.
Oh, there's more. Okay.
There is the Hawk. There is You've got to find a way. There is the Fisherman.
Right.
At least 3. There might be one more, but I'm too tired to remember.
I just saw the 2. I saw the Hawk and the Fisherman, I think. I don't think I saw another one anywhere. I got
the first one came out in December. You've got to find a way, which is the bonus track. But this is a singles version, so it doesn't have the same intro.
Right. Well, Byzantium was an ancient city in Greece. It became known as Constantinople, which is Istanbul, I guess, today.
Today's system, yeah, true.
And that's a great track. It's a fantastic track. Cap and Bells, another one. Another favorite. Very cool bass. Is that Tony on that?
That's Tony, yeah. But with my arrangement, I told him to play like that. So you had to go like that. But he was free to do whatever he liked in Byzantium. He that's his bass, or his own lines. But Cap and Bells was the most challenging song to produce and arrange. Really? It took forever, and then, the lead vocals took forever to really nail, to get them exactly like I wanted them. Either I was sick or too tired, or I couldn't hear myself well. But eventually it worked, and the mastering of that song. Now I went to master it. Douglas Carr is the guy who mastered the album. It was so meticulous. This is the way it could go. I would send him a mix, and he said, if you take down, around 2,000 K on the backing vocals, then I can enhance some of the other treble on the track, and it will sound fantastic. But you need to take that down just right there. And I said, oh my goodness, so he's so it's about compromising stuff. But at the end, that track has some depth. When you listen to the drums when they come in, and the kick drum, along with the bass, when Tony comes in and starts playing more aggressively during the piano solo, it's such a depth in this sound image. It's like, whoa, it's like, somewhere deep down in the abyss of the big sea. Extraordinary sounds.
Yeah, incredible track.
It's a good track.
One song that everybody is hooked on is The Stolen Child. You got so much response from that tune.
That's a track that Douglas Carr mastered said, I get a little feeling of a hit here. I don't know what, right. I always get these premonitions.
Sure.
No, it hasn't turned out to a big hit yet, but it has some sort of sentimental vibe to it that I love. And it's very rustic and very rural sounding. It's almost like you're singing in an old barn where the creek is running outside. You know what I mean? So really rural. And it's got a lovely poem. Again, those poems are just incredibly well written. And I absolutely adore that track. I too, I'm a huge fan of the album. I don't dare to play it because I get scared of listening to it. I get scared. What am I going to do after this? I better forget about this album.
That could be the album. No, I think you'll get better and better as you go along.
Actually, there is a video of The Stolen Child. That was the one I forgot to tell you about.
Right. Yeah. That's a great video, by the way. A lot of people have compared your voice to a lot of other people, and you got a perfect prog voice. Perfect. I mean, I love prog. Prog's my number one love in music. I've always been into it forever and ever.
Yes. But
they compare you to, of course, Peter Gabriel. I mean, you sound wonderful in Genesis Revisited. And there's a little Cat Stevens, they say. There's a little Steve Winwood, and there's a little bit of the Straubs. I can hear all that in your voice. But you got such a natural voice for progressive rock. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. I think on this album, I focused on maybe not belting it out, too much, but more being a bit more down on my baritone register. Where I think now that I believe I sound the best when I'm a bit more down there, sounds more convincing to my ears at least. And some of my fans before say, "Oh, you sound so great when you like I did a ballad called "What Have You Done" on 2 albums prior, where I sing really deep, but kind of deep. And that struck a chord with me, and I thought, okay, I'm going to make a poetic album. I better make it sensitive and intimate. And you can't be intimate if you're belting it out. It's impossible. So you have to be a bit more near the microphone and lots of air. And because you're supposed to deliver a great poem. And so if you don't shout, you can do so much more with your voice. And every sentence, you can really express yourself in a very convincing way by singing. Really try to put your mind behind the lyrics. And
right.
that was easier to do than I thought, I must say. Because maybe I was singing those keys, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very good video track. Like I said, lots of responses from that video. It's incredible. And To an Isle in the Water, another great track.
That's probably one of my absolute favorite ones.
Really?
Especially when it comes to the vocal delivery, because there's so much emotion. I almost like it, you know, if you listen to Joni Mitchell and you listen to her, you know, what is it, late 60s, early 70s version of Both Sides Now?
Right.
You compare that to the Chainsmoker with the orchestra recorded about roughly 20 years ago when she's singing it live. All those years that she lived, she has a pattern in her voice. You know, it's a deeper, more husky voice, much more expressive. And that's I kind of feel that's close to where I've gotten with my singing now. It's like you can tell that I'm a bit older now. You know, I'm turning 62 next week.
We're the same age.
Yeah, cool.
We're a few months apart.
Yeah, June the 4th is my birthday. I'm
January. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a Capricorn boy.
Well, actually, Aquarius. January 27th.
Okay, yeah. Right, cool, good. Yeah. Anyway, so you know what I'm trying to say is that, you know, with life experience, me personally, I've sung many years, and it goes to show little, you know, what do you say, scars in the voice, if you like. It's been a very rough, tough life for me. I've had some, you know, went through many turmoils and just it's been up and down. Let's say, like most people's lives if you live this long.
Right.
And I kind of feel that, you know, you get emotional and it sort of reflects in the singing. When you're 15, you don't have that life experience, you know, so you just sound pristine and maybe crystal clear. But with life experience, it adds a bit of pattern in the voice. And I personally, I'm not bragging, I'm just saying I personally think I sound better now than I have before. That's my personal opinion.
Well, To an Isle on the Water, you're right. It's a very soft track, very emotional, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some nice passages there in falsetto and very tender. You know, no, I'm very, very fond of that track, I must say. And the orchestration is quite lovely too.
The bonus tracks, You Got to Find a Way and To a Child Dancing in the Wind, which is also another beautiful track as well. Are the bonus tracks on the album? Are they on the album?
They're on the CD version of the album. They're not on the vinyl. They didn't fit into the vinyl version. So, but everyone who purchases the vinyl will always get this bonus CD,
right,
where you can hear those tracks as well. So, To an Island. To a Child Dancing in the Wind. That's the one that Steve Hackett plays 12 string. You can hear it's him. You know, the way he plays it, and also. That's the song I think I have the deepest voice ever on. It's a gorgeous track. It's
very album. Yeah,
it's placid. It's very, very tender and intimate.
Well, I'm going to put it in the same category as Trick of the Tail and also Chris Squire's Fish Out of Water. That's another one of my favorite albums. So those two are now.
Do you really hear any similarity to Chris's album? I never thought of it. Is that
just more rocky? Just the emotion of the whole album and the musicianship, you know, from everyone.
You know, my personal how I would link it to. I don't know if you would agree with me. But there are bits of the album that would link to Elton John's second album, the Black one, with Your Song and Border Song and
right, the early stuff.
60, it's got some atmosphere in there. 60 years on, I feel they're very close to the realist on my album. There's something very majestic or magical and very sparse at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to mention some of the players on the album, give them some credit. Of course, there's you do lead vocals, backing vocals, keyboards, electric guitar, bass, drums, orchestration. Do you really need everybody else?
I really don't do any drums apart from
No?
a program the drums for Byzantium. That's just a kick drum that's been programmed, and then the drums on the Fisherman is me too, but playing around with loops basically. But that I'm the one who handled the drums, so it's me there. But yeah, well, I always played a lot of instruments on my records.
That's amazing. Andrew does steel string, 12-string acoustic, keyboards, I guess, and backing vocals.
But Andrew plays just a little bit of keyboards. I believe it's in the first track. He puts down a little bit of electric piano and some other samples. But the rest of the keyboard work is all me.
Okay. And of course, Steve Hackett does the 12-string acoustic guitar.
Yes.
On the album. I love Steve. I've had him on the show several times. We're going to have him again soon. His wife, very lovely, Jo. Very nice people. Very nice people. I love them.
Well, I know them quite well by now. I've known them for 9 years.
9 years, yeah.
Yeah. So when I flew over to London for the first time to meet them, that was 9 years ago in May. Lovely people. I've toured the world with them for years, and we kind of hang on day off. We would have dinner or stuff.
It's going to be weird. You're going to have Genesis on the road, and then you guys are going to be on the road at the same time.
Yeah. Well, but
have you met Peter Gabriel?
No, I haven't met anyone from Genesis apart from Steve.
Really?
No, never happened. I don't expect them to show up either. But you were saying that we're going to be on the road at the same time. Well, you have to keep in mind that Steve Hackett is paying tribute to the 70s music of Genesis, whereas I believe most of the music that Genesis is going to present will be of later years, when they were more successful.
I'll be honest with you. I did not like any Phil Collins commercial stuff at all. A lot of people got mad at him. I mean, he had death threats and everything when he did that, because true prog guys, it's like a religion. You don't do that. Yeah, I understand. I felt sort of the same way. I mean, there are the odd songs that I do like, but the whole, if you put on like an album like The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, which was the one that got me into Genesis in the first place, you compare that to Illegal Alien, for instance, or something, it's like the magic is gone. The depth totally.
Is gone. It's a different band. I don't want to criticize them. I'm just saying it didn't do much for me personally.
Me either.
No,
I was turned off by the whole commercial thing that Phil did, and doing these covers, R&B covers and things like that.
But at the same time, wasn't that sort of the flavor of the day? I mean, the 80s was a big major shift in music, the music industry.
Right.
And it was just so much going on. It all changed. I mean, it wasn't only Genesis who changed. There was a lot of bands and went new directions because maybe they wouldn't still have a record deal. Who am I to tell? I don't know. But it's also a little bit of us becoming of age, to be honest. I mean, we have reference points in life. You listen to that, and then what they're doing now. That's not as good as it was before. But you can immediately tell because But if you're new to the band, you haven't heard anything prior. Go figure. It's a different kind of issue.
See, there was a good transition from Peter Gabriel to Phil Collins. Phil Collins sounded a lot like Peter Gabriel, and they continued on the prog road. I mean, I love Trick of the Tail is one of my favorite albums of all time. But the next generation of Genesis, I mean,
we know.
I can't deal with it. I'd rather listen to you guys.
Well, come and see the show.
Yeah, I love Steve anyway. He's my favorite guy from Genesis. So he's a great guitar player. Tony Levin's on the album, of course, on bass. I've interviewed Tony. He's another nice guy. Jonas, is it Rheingold, another bass player on the album? Okay. And, I interviewed a guy. Do you know Andy Tillison by any chance?
Yes. Well, Jonas has a project with Andy. And
yeah, I just heard about it.
You know that Jonas is also in Hackett's band. So
right.
He was in Agents of Mercy with me as well. So I've known Jonas for many years now.
I had Andy Tillison on because I love the last album they did. So,
yeah.
Steve Piggott, additional electric guitar, was also on that. And you produced the album, right?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Genesis Revisited a little bit. How did you and Steve first meet? I know he called you on the phone out of nowhere and says he wanted you in the band. Did you meet him prior to that, or he just saw you somewhere performing?
Well, we actually first met in 2009 at Lorelei, the night of the Prog Festival. He doesn't remember, so he met, but there was the first show with Agents of Mercy, and we shared the same stage with Steve. I think the day before him or something, but we were there for 2 days. And then we played in A Coruña, Spain. 2010 was a festival in northern Spain.
Right.
And Steve was with the band. That's the first time that was the second time I met him, and he remembers that. And so he had a vague picture of me, who I was, something. But what really happened was that 2 years later, in 2012, the word was out he was going to do Genesis Revisited. I mean, it wasn't maybe officially out, but the promoters knew, and some people inside info went out, and the guy who hosts the night of the Prog Festival, his name is Winfried Volklein. He had said to Steve prior, a couple of years ago, you should get Nad Sylvan to the band when you do the Genesis stuff. He would sound so authentic. Yeah. And at the time, Steve wasn't interested because he was still just doing his solo stuff with the occasional Genesis song. But when the word came about, that he was going to do the Genesis Revisited stuff, Winfried contacted him again and said, get Nad Sylvan into the band. And so Steve and Roger King, they went on YouTube or somewhere, some streaming platform, and checked me out. I think one of the Agents of Mercy shows, and also they heard the Unifaun album. Which made them intrigued. And so Steve, I was contacted by Steve's tour manager, Brian, and said that Steve, would you be interested in working with Steve? And because he will call you. And so Steve did call me in April of 2012. And we discussed about 30 minutes. We had a nice talk on the phone. And then he decided I should come over and visit him. All paid for, of course. Very sweet. And I think he had decided that he wanted me in, but before you do that, you do want to meet the guy in person. Right. Check him out. So it's not some guy, some weirdo or whatever. Which I hope I'm not. Maybe I am to some extent, but I was okay enough to get the job with Steve. And so we would do for 1 year. 2013 was just going to do 1 year, and then Steve was going to go back and do the solo stuff. Well, guess what?
Did you have to audition?
No, I was the only one. So that's that. It's become the gig now. It's become the Genesis Revisited, because it get all the Genesis nutheads coming out, and we try to give them as good show as we possibly can.
Oh, it's incredible. What's your favorite Genesis song to sing?
That varies, actually.
Yeah.
from year to year. Yeah. Well, the song that will always be close to my heart is "Supper's Ready" because it has all these ups and downs and a lot of, passages and moods and different ways of singing. And it's also, an audience favorite.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, I also loved singing the Lamia. I thought that was a great song to sing. And there's so many, The last tour we did Selling England, and I particularly enjoyed doing More Fool Me and the Battle of Epping Forest. Epping Forest is just such a tongue twister, but, I rehearsed it for months to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And once you got it down in your muscle memory, it stays there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you can't think of what you're singing, then you lose it. You just go on autopilot because it's so wordy. No, I thoroughly enjoyed. That's also one of my absolute favorite moments, the songs to sing. Epping Forest is a fun one. But, they're all great songs.
Yeah.
My least favorite ones are the ones that I have to go in head-to-head voice consistently. I can't. It's okay if you go up once in a while, some words here and there. But songs like Squonk or 11th Hour are, to me, not very easy songs to sing. They are quite challenging. And in a way that I find a bit daunting,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not really my natural voice anymore. I have to put on that voice because it's so high. And you have to keep in mind these songs, they were recorded by Phil and Pete when they were in the mid-20s.
Right, that's true.
And with age, the voice tends to go down a bit.
Yeah. Do you sing Entangled and Ripples on the show? I always hear a girl singing it.
We've done Entangled with Ray Wilson. Right. No, hang on. No, I think I did. That was the first year only, 2013. We did Entangled. Ray was on, what was it? Was it the Hammersmith show or was it the Albert Hall show? I can't remember now. But yeah, we did that the first year. Ripples I never sung. That was Amanda sang it. Amanda Lehman, that's Steve's wife's sister. She sang it at the whole show. No, but we're not going to do that now. We're going to do Seconds Out.
Right. I had Annie Haslam on the show recently, a few days ago, and she did Ripples. She does a good job on Ripples. Yeah. She's so cool. We have a lot of fun together when we're talking.
Well, she's a very sweet lady. I met her.
Yeah. Like to see you do something with Annie. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm all open for it.
Yeah,
just give me a bell and just throw me the song and see what comes out.
Well, like I mentioned, the tour, April 2022. It's when it starts again. I think you're starting in Pennsylvania, is when it begins.
Yeah,
and
that's
Florida. Yeah. Florida dates. Let's see, we got April 19th, 20, 22nd, and 23, and you'll be in Clearwater on the 22nd of April 2022. And I think that'll happen because Florida is pretty wide open right now. So,
and that's a year from.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wish it was sooner, actually.
Yeah, I know. I wish I was there now because it's just raining here. I'm quite. There's a lovely weather in Florida right now.
Gorgeous. Yeah. Beautiful right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can be a what do you call it? Snowbird. I guess you can be a snowbird here. Live here half the year.
I could. I'm a U.S. citizen as well as Swedish citizen. Right. And could also go out to California and see my father, who just turned 93. I haven't seen him in many years.
Really?
No, I haven't seen him in 5 years.
You need to go.
It's just that the thing is, now I couldn't go because of the pandemic, obviously, And when I go out touring months on end, if we'd that's when I last met him in Los Angeles. We were going to do a show, so he came in to have dinner with me.
Yep.
But then we're on to I think we went to Phoenix, Arizona after that. and it's just, you know, when you're on the road, you're away for such a long time. So when you finally return back home in between tours, you just don't want to go on a plane to America again. You know, that's the downside of all these extensive tourings.
Yeah.
Now I could have had time to go and see him, but you know, I couldn't go anywhere. No one could. So it's a double-edged sword really.
My dad's 96. So we're a lot alike here. Same age. Yeah. Your dad's a pro tennis player, correct? He was a pro tennis player?
Well, not anymore, of course.
But he was.
Yeah. He, well, you know, I believe he just recently quit playing because, you know, he just couldn't do it anymore. But no, he was in the, I can't exactly tell you how well he was ranked, but I know there's a plate of his name in Monte Carlo, and he played, you know, Wimbledon and, you know, those kind of games. So he was up there in the mid 50s when he was in his 20s. I met my mom when he was, 29, and she was 17, and they got married the year after, and I was born another year, and then in 59 I was born. But the marriage didn't last very long. They got divorced when I think I was 3 or 4 years old. It didn't work out.
Did you remarry?
My dad has been married 6 times.
Wow.
It's him and Henry VIII. No, my mom was his first wife. But he ran into a bit of, you know, he was a bit unlucky. Two wives passed away, and so, you know, you can take those 2 out. So there will only be 4 then. But my dad is quite a character. Yeah, he's very, very, very charming, but maybe not the easiest man to be married to. I don't know.
Right. Do you do a lot of the duo calls, or, you know, when you see?
We've tried to keep in contact, but, you know, over the years he's sort of lost the knowledge of how to Skype, and so I picked up the phone and called him just the other week, just to hear his voice and see how he was doing. And it sounded just like always. You know, he was the man is 93, and it sounded like he was 40.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Right. My dad's like that too. Yeah. My mom had Alzheimer's, so that was tough.
Is your mom is not with us anymore?
No, she passed away about 4 years ago.
My mother passed away 12 years ago from cancer.
Yeah.
She was 68.
Ooh.
So, she would be 81. She would be 81 now if she'd be alive.
Right.
She was just going to turn 69. No, it's sad, but, you know, you live on, and you tend to, it turns into fond memories more than grief.
Right. You have no choice to move on, and
that's the only way. That's the only way. You can only do so much.
Some of your little hobbies there are very interesting. You ride horses?
Not anymore.
No?
No, I haven't ridden since October, was it? I was taking care of a horse. I was borrowing a horse. I used to have a horse back in the day, but no, but he turned ill, and he's got a back injury, and it still isn't fixed. And so so I guess I'm just waiting to, you know, get that call, say, oh, he's okay now again. But I sort of lost interest a bit too, because
you're too busy.
Say,
yeah,
I've been riding since I was very young. I've been more, you know, like 50 years off and on. But I'm a very keen gardener. I love gardening. I just love the outdoor life and living out here in the wilderness. Yeah. Since I'm living out here in the wilderness, it's very inviting. You know, to go hiking, or it's just, for me, I just love it. I live in the green. It's completely green all around me, and the lake.
Yeah, Sweden looks like a beautiful country, man. I'd love to visit.
It's very reminiscent to Canada, actually. It is
really.
It looks almost Canadian, but Canada is so much bigger, of course. But it's you know, it's the same kind of trees, same climate. Well, of course, we have the Gulf Stream, so it doesn't get that cold.
Mm-hmm.
It does in Canada. But we can get pretty cold winters. We can. But the last one was mine.
The Vampire Trilogy, that's available too, right? On your website. Well, what's going on there?
Oh, I do have my little web store where you can purchase my albums, and I do sign them if you want me with a personal dedication as well. I always do that. Right. I find, if my fans are being so supportive and so sweet, and go to my website.
You have great fans.
Purchase my albums. I give them the works. I give them all I can.
Awesome.
I have very, very, very sweet fans. Very, very, very kind fans.
What do you think of world music? Is that something that you'd like to pursue more?
Not sure about that. I think Steve Hackett is more into that.
Right.
I'm more of I think my favorite kind of music is actually bluesy rock mixed with back in the early 70s stuff, mixed with soul music, old school soul music, and
old school,
and some like Motown, all early stuff, Otis Redding and singers like that, Ray Charles, combined with symphony, classical music, and singer-songwriter stuff. I like good singers. Let's put it like that. I can't listen to a band if they have a crap singer. Just impossible. Right. It has the vocals need to be absolutely up there for me.
Who do you consider an excellent vocalist? Like even growing up as a kid, who did you like?
Oh wow, that's okay. Growing up as a kid, I don't think I was listening to the vocals in the same way as I am now, though. I was listening to Beatles and the Stones and all those, and bands coming out of England, and but really, really good singer. I think one of the best singers I know is Gino Vanelli.
Oh, I agree with you.
I mean, my goodness, can he sing? He has such a fantastic range in it. Wow, he always blows me away. Al Jarreau was the one that I thought was a brilliant singer. There are, and also recent days, one of the guys that's getting close to 70 now is actually Glenn Hughes. The guy in Deep Purple, one point. And Trapeze and Houston Stroll. And Glenn has got a phenomenal voice. He's got a new band now called The Dead Daisies. And he's not giving up. He just keeps getting better. And he's going to be 69 years this year, if it hasn't turned out already. Incredible singer. So that's inspiring to me, to listen to people that are still evolving, still after 60, still keep getting better and better and better.
Me too. Yeah. I've interviewed Petula Clark. She's in close to 90 now, and she's still touring. And
are you serious? Still touring?
Petula Clark. Yeah, she's cool. She lives in Switzerland, by the way. Yeah.
She lives
a lot of people live in Switzerland. Yeah.
It's a very divided country because you got the flam. What do you, I don't know how do you say? Sweden would say flamländska. There's a connection, I think, with Holland or something like that kind of language, and they got the French and the German.
Right.
So divided areas. Switzerland. And that's quite amazing considering what a small country it really is.
Right.
Yeah. I think.
How many languages can you speak?
Oh, I only speak Swedish and English.
Really?
Yeah. I do understand all the Nordic language. I do understand Norwegian and Danish. It's very similar to Swedish, but I just tell them to slow down a bit. It's Scandinavian.
Scandinavian, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, my wife's background is from Sweden. I found that out. We did one of those DNA tests, and
I've just done it. I'm just waiting for
Really?
them. Yeah, I send off my saliva and
That'd
just
be
hope that.
interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think it's going to come out to say?
Well, I do know. That half, at least from my mother's side, is Swedish or Scandinavian, but my dad is half Scottish, half Hungarian.
Oh, cool.
So I know it's going to be very mixed there on that side.
Yeah. It comes back and says you're 30% Nigerian and
I would be surprised if it said Nigerian.
actually it came back with me as 1% Nigerian. I have no idea where that came from.
It's too far back in time. You will never know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, Ned, here's your final question. I ask everybody this question. I get some very interesting answers. If you had a Field of Dreams wish, like the movie, to perform, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Tricky question. I would probably say Barbra Streisand.
Really? Wow. That's surprising.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
because somebody said I look like the male equivalent to Barbra Streisand. I just, oh my goodness, here we go.
I don't see that at all.
It's the nose. No.
Gosh. I think her nose is bigger.
Yeah, maybe it is. But she's a brilliant singer, though. No, I'd probably say Aretha Franklin.
Really? Yeah. So you are into R&B. Yeah.
Oh, good, my goodness. I mean, that's the only kind of singer that can really touch me is when I hear some really good soul music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Donny Hathaway, for instance.
Right.
Black. Yeah. You know, so that can really, really move you with the voice.
Sure.
It's always been. Elton John is always a huge favorite of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Always have been, but especially the early Elton stuff. Until the 70s, I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think he even named an album Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy.
Yeah. Incredible.
I could have been the Brown Dirt Cowboy.
The Brown Dirt Cowboy.
Yeah.
So Aretha Franklin. Yep.
Yeah. One of my earliest memories.
I interviewed Robin Trower several times, and he says James Brown, which surprised me because I thought he'd say Jimi Hendrix, but nope.
I think James Brown was not a particularly good singer in comparison to other singers. He was a shouter. It was all wow, you know, whatever he did.
Yeah, like Wilson Pickett.
Yeah, but he was a great mover, and I mean, you know, if you give me a week to really, you know, go deep down inside myself, and I'd probably come up with some interesting names. But at the tip of my tongue, Aretha's always been there.
See, I think you can get away with an R&B album more so than Phil Collins because you're more diversified, eclectic. You know, you can do a lot of other things, but you know.
That's the thing where people compare me to Gabriel and I get because we're sort of in the same kind of a family of voices, if you like. But once you start hearing me sing my own stuff, especially new album, you know, there's much more me in there because I'm not channeling. I guess that's what you can say when I sing Genesis is, see, I don't try to sound like Gabriel. I don't try to sound like Collins. I'm just channeling the recordings I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So those, you know what I mean? I just tend to sing the songs the way I've heard them. Well, this is the way it should be sung, you know, and so that's how it comes out. And I think that when Steve heard me singing the songs, so it sounds sort of authentic, really. It was Chamber 32 Doors, so it's the first track I recorded for him. And he thought, you know, you don't sound like Peter altogether, but there are similarities, and you sort of nail the same kind of
right.
No, the emotional kind of side of things. And there you go. That's what I did.
You know, I got excited. I wanted you on the show not because of Genesis Revisited. It was because I heard you on Morrow.com with the new album. That's what got me excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. They're playing that now? That's lovely.
Yeah, they play your stuff on Morrow. Morrow's the only decent prog radio station out there. I get a lot of my interviews from there. Anytime I hear somebody new or any, that haven't heard before, I'll immediately want to get them on the show.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I've answered your last question.
Nad, what else anything else you want to promote? I mean, you got the shows coming in 2022. You got your album out. Anything else going on?
Well, we're going out. We're going out on the road 2022 in America, but we actually start touring in September already in the UK. We have 6 weeks of touring in the UK, and then we go bits around Europe and Scandinavia in November. Awesome. So that's the first thing that's going to happen when it comes to gigs. Well, I'd like to say that, I'm just doing the last bits of editing of a new music video for Sailing to Byzantium, the second new album, which is taking me painstakingly long time because I just, I'm so meticulous with everything. And so I'm editing it myself together with Wayne Joyner in America. He threw me some bits, but it's soon ready to go.
Awesome. When can we see that? You say it's ready to go?
Well, once I've uploaded it to Inside Out server, it takes about a week before it turns up on YouTube and other streaming platforms. So I'd say probably it will be out not this Friday, but next Friday.
Great. I'm looking forward to that, man.
Yeah.
Nad, thank you so much, man, for being on the show. You're an incredible artist. Love your music. Looking forward to an even better album after this one. No pressure.
No pressure. Of course, no pressure. I actually
roll now.
I've started writing again.
Good.
But I feel that probably will not have anything out until 2023.
Right.
I tend to release an album every second year.
Yeah. Good.
And after Spirit this Monday, I just don't feel there's no rush. That sort of, it shouldn't die so soon. It should, at least be a huge seller for a year.
Yeah, I agree. I think some artists put out albums too quickly sometimes, every 3 months, 4 months, but I think Spirit this Monday's got so much to offer, and I don't think it's an album you get tired of that easy. No, not at all. It's a classic.
So
it
it's a wonderful. I'm very, very happy over it, and just hope it will, generate more interest.
I'm going to promote the hell out of it for you. So
thank you.
Thank you, Nad. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Man. We'll see you again next time. Hopefully soon.
Yes.
We'll see
all
you on
the best.
road.
So much.
You too. All the best.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye now.
Bye, man.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Interviewing the Legends. Brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call 941-877-1552 or visit us at publicityworksagency.com, specializing in author and music artist publicity plans. We shine when we make you shine. Tune in to Interviewing the Legends every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on PBS Radio, Station 1.